Canines, drones, and every rescue organization that Blount County had scoured the mountains for a man named Mike Hearon. Now, 8 years later, his family and investigators are still looking for answers.
You know, it's hard just because, this time of the year.
Deep in the hills of a place called Happy Valley is a sad mystery.
He's always, enjoyed the woods. This is where he was raised, born and raised.
August 23, 2008, Matt Hearon's father disappeared.
Not having him around, it's been really tough. Dad, he was always there. He was the most dependable person I ever knew.
Mike Hearon owned property in this small Blount County community.
He had a 100-acre farm, and he loved to farm and be outdoors and be with nature.
But when the Hearon family went to check on him, he wasn't home, and his four-wheeler gone.
I was just really panicking to try to find that four-wheeler because I thought that he had gotten back on one of the trails and rolled the four-wheeler over and been injured.
Matt and his brother Andy searched their father's property until dark.
At that point it turned and I was, we were getting pretty desperate.
I was on call that night.
Sergeant Mike Sarrett and his team began their own search.
We had dogs, we had people on horseback.
Drones flying over.
Hundreds of people.
It started raining and then it rained for, 3 days straight.
They can wash away evidence, rain can, and with the time delay, it can hinder our investigation.
Days later, deputies found Mike's ATV.
One of the clearest things that I'll always remember when I heard it come over the CB that they had found a four-wheeler. And, at that point, my heart just was pounding through my chest. It's about a mile off of his property, parked in an abandoned cabin, up a hill, kind of stashed it, in a weird spot.
The switch was left on, the starting switch, so we don't know what happened.
The search continued for weeks, but Mike Hearon had vanished. A year later, friends and family gathered to remember him.
Our hopes of him being alive were fading.
Creating an annual hike along this trail.
Seeing all the people that would turn out, it was really, comforting to know that many people were, here to support us.
Life moves forward for the Hearon family. Matt and his brother, now fathers themselves, but there's an obvious absence.
His laugh and his grin, he always was animated. It's always tough kind of, explaining to the kids, what happened to him because they don't really understand. I think that he would have been a great grandfather.
That's why they refuse to give up the search.
He didn't just make himself disappear. We feel like somebody else has done something.
I think about this case all the time. At least what happened to him, to try to figure out the story of what went on.
Could have stumbled up on something that was going on that shouldn't have been going on. And Dad was never the type of person that would have backed down.
With every new season comes new hope.
That somebody comes up on something and finds some evidence.
That this family will find answers.